architecture is a medium of communication. To me, it's not an abstract art of big buildings, of facades. It's an art of communicating a story. Often the story is not very obvious. It reaches to the invisible realms, it reaches to the unknown, but it always unfolds in people's lives. So Ground Zero in New York also is a narrative, because I didn't start with the big buildings, as I mentioned. I started with where people perished. I didn't build anything on it. Most of my colleagues, great architects, created big structures in that space. I talked to the families of the victims. I started with the families of victims, with the first responders, with fathers, daughters, brothers, people whose lives were forever changed by a catastrophic event, a murder. And I said, you know, nothing should be built on this site. It's most of the site, it's half the site. The site is only 16 acres. So, of course, the authorities expected, well, we will build all these millions of square of density on this ground. But I said, this ground, even though it has never been declared as a spiritual space, it's just a piece of real estate in New York City, it's not a place where you can build. This is where people perish. This is sacred space. I was very moved when the Pope came to New York. Everybody participated in an act of prayer and devotion to the fact that this now has been altered. It's not just business as usual. Even though we have to build a whole city, a new city, a city that has a new sense of freedom and liberty, it has to assert also what happened. Because for us to have that liberty and that freedom, we have to appreciate every individual. We have to not denigrate the individual, as it often is in contemporary society. We have to reject violence in the architecture, in telling the story of a new social space. We have to reject the fascination of violence. We have to reject the ideologies, formidable, left and right, in my view, in order to make a human space that truly is part of the human legacy.